How do you get paid with Blender? It's probably the most common question that I get. How do you find clients, Aryan? How do I get somebody to hire me as a 3D artist? And usually the problem is that most of you guys already know how to use Blender. I mean, if you don't know how to make some product visualization projects, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Watch 3 of my tutorials, add a cylinder, bevel this fucking cylinder, extrude this, scale this down. It's not rocket science. You can literally copy paste what I'm doing in 6 of my tutorials, put it on Instagram, write a bio like I did on Instagram, and you're good. Okay, it ain't rockets. Everybody understands this by now. This is not what the problem is. Okay, there's enough content about how to make a tub of protein or how to do something useful, right? So the point here is you have to be able to do something useful to somebody with your Blender skills. Most of you are able to do this. Maybe you don't understand what the value is, but you're able to do it. Dude, it's a fucking cylinder, okay? So now you have to first think about, okay, how am I going to be able to benefit somebody? How am I going to be able to help somebody so much that they're going to be willing to pay me some money, okay? That's step number one. That's the first thing you got to think about. Okay, so look, you can make a tub of protein in Blender. Now let's start nice and simple. Let's start nice and slow. You haven't been in the game for 15 years. You're just getting started. You watched a couple of tutorials. You put together a little portfolio. Okay, I put together this project right here. I think it probably took me a couple of hours at most, okay, given that I was also making a tutorial with it, so it's a little bit slower even, but you can put this together in one afternoon. It's not even a full day of work by any means, okay? If you can get $100 for a project like this, you're good. That's a pretty fucking good start. Don't even worry about 100. Just try to get $50. Fuck it. Try to get anything. Just try to get this shit posted somewhere so you're helping somebody, okay? Just for a start. Don't even worry about the money. The point is you can make something that's useful to somebody. So how is this useful to somebody? Well, let's say Aryan is a fitness coach. Aryan has another YouTube channel where he teaches fitness. Now Aryan, the same way he launched an ebook on this channel, he's gonna launch his own protein powder on the other channel, okay? And if you go click on my ebook link right now, by the way, I'm gonna plug that shit to you, okay? Go check out my Blender ebook if you wanna learn more about Blender. But if you go on the link, you're gonna see that at the top of the page, there's a nice little 3D render of that fucking ebook. I put some money on there and shit. I put a cup of coffee in the corner and all this. I've built this scene in Blender. Took me a couple of hours, okay? But this is very important for selling this ebook, okay? Because you need to have some product images. You don't have, in this case, it just one is enough, okay? It's kind of like a use case. But if you go to any website which is selling you protein powder, of course they're gonna have a fucking picture. They need a picture, okay? Now the guy who's selling it, he's just a fitness YouTuber. He doesn't know nothing about product visualization. He doesn't know nothing about photography and all this shit. He needs somebody like you to make a picture for him, which he's going to be able to put on that website. Now, it depends on how complicated this is. In some situations, if it's a company launching a new fucking laptop and they need a whole bunch of crazy animations, okay, this is where the $2,000 are at. Probably you can get even more for this type of shit, you know, when you go to Logitech and they got a commercial or something. But think about simple shit like this just to get the ball rolling, okay? This guy, he's not going to have a problem paying $100 or $200 for something like this. Maybe a picture, a little animation, and maybe a couple of different aspect ratios, so he can also post it on his Instagram story. When he launches this product, he wants content so he can push the product and make money, right? So you're basically helping him make money. That's the value that you're bringing in with your skills. That's the first thing that you gotta understand. That's a simple example. So now, the question is, okay, how on earth do you get to know these kind of people? How do you find these sort of people who are going to be willing to hire you to do this type of stuff, okay? Now, the problem is that there isn't really a right or wrong way to do this. There's not really one template I can give you, and this, if you do this, you're definitely going to be able to get a client, okay? That's not how this shit works. Think about any time you were trying to get a job somewhere. If you never had a job, if you're like 15 years old or something, ask your mom and dad, ask your older brother, ask your older friends, how did any jobs that you ever worked, how'd you get them? Okay, most of the time, you're going to realize that getting these jobs is technically the same shit as getting clients as a 3D artist. Okay, it ain't no difference. It's the same shit, right? And the way it usually works is if you're trying to get a job, I can tell you from my experience and most people that I've spoken to, it's basically the same shit, right? It's through network. It's through people that you know. So you know somebody and you ask around, okay, hey, I'm looking for a job. Do you know something? Do you know somebody? Boom. You ask around. You go to your network. So the way you get a job is that you ask around and someone's going to tell you, yeah, at my workplace they're hiring, they need a new waiter, they need a new delivery driver, whatever. That doesn't matter, right? Oh, we need a new software engineer at my company. This guy just got fired. He was smoking weed on the job. Okay. So usually it goes through network, which means you gotta know people, which means you gotta have a lot of friends. So the problem here for most of you guys, I know what you guys are doing in your free time. I know you're not out there practicing your social skills. Most of you guys in your free time are playing fucking Roblox. And then when Aryan posts a story about video games are bad for you, then you get mad. No, video games are not bad for you. Fuck you. Fuck that shit, okay? You're trying to get a job right now. You're trying to make some money. You're broke. That, right? This should be your number one priority. So forget about the fucking video games. Now it's time to get serious. You got to get out there. You got to work on building a network, talking to some people, making yourself a presentable person so people like you. And then when you ask around, hey, I need a job, they're going to be happy to connect you because they're not going to be embarrassed. Hey, this guy's looking for a job. By the way, he's lazy as fuck. He has no social skills. He has no charisma. All he does is plays video games all day. You think someone wants to hire somebody like that? Fuck that shit. So you have to put yourself in a position where you're able to meet a lot of people. And you meet these people basically the same way that you meet anybody else. Okay? Now, one thing that I teach people inside the Digitally Enhanced Club is that you have to put yourself in a position where people can stumble upon your shit and also hire you like that. Because I can give you my example. I'm over here making all these videos and making all this Instagram content and all this shit. And when you're posting this type of stuff, it gets a lot of eyeballs. A lot of people are looking at it. And eventually somebody who's hiring, somebody who needs some sort of service like this is going to stumble upon your profile and they're going to want to hire you and you're going to get a client like that. Now, I'm not saying this should be your main way of sourcing clients. This is one way to do it. And you should do this along with all the other stuff because guess what? If you have a profile with a lot of followers that gets a lot of views, when you meet somebody in real life, they're going to see that. They're going to find out, hey, look, this guy has a cool fucking Instagram. Holy shit, 42,000 followers or fuck it, 3,000 followers. That's pretty impressive. So now people like you. So now people know you do this shit seriously. So now, if they hear about somebody who's trying to hire somebody as a 3D artist, they're going to think of you because they saw your Instagram profile. They see that you do this stuff for real. So now they're going to put you in touch. Okay? So that's something that you got to be focusing on greatly. You just got to put yourself out there in the world. How about this? Okay, we're visualizing a tub of protein. I'm telling you, this is how this stuff works. I'm telling you from my experience. I know this for a fact, right? No, someone's gonna say, "No, Aryan, you're full of shit. You're a scammer. Fuck you." I'm telling you this from experience. Okay, this is the truth. You're visualizing a tub of protein. You want to find somebody who's gonna pay you $200 for a tub of protein. Okay. So this is gonna be somebody who's running some sort of a business which sells fitness supplements, or maybe they sell, I don't know, whatever, right? Let's say we're talking about fitness supplements for this example. Okay. So where do fitness people hang out? Why don't you go there? You know what I'm talking about. Why don't you become the guy who's like Aryan? When Aryan goes to the gym, and when Aryan puts 210 kilo on the deadlift, and he starts deadlifting, most of the time, everybody's looking. And every other dude comes by now he's like, oh shit, man, good lifting, right? Nice lift. Now he wants to talk to me. Or now I see the other guy who's lifting 200 kilos. So now we're the only two guys who are lifting heavy. I get to talk to him. Guess what? This guy is obviously serious about business. Now I'm talking to a guy who's possibly some sort of fitness influencer. If you go to the big gyms, the big commercial gyms, you're going to have all sorts of personal trainers and all this shit. Before you know it, you're going to run into somebody who's selling supplements, right? Before you know it, you're going to find the guy who owns that corner shop that sells protein and creatine and whatever the fuck. And now maybe he needs a new poster, outside the shop. Maybe you also got a little bit This is how this shit goes, right? So now you're able to meet a whole bunch of people, and just because you're putting yourself in a position to meet people who are the kind of people who might find your services beneficial in some way, okay? You're probably wondering why I'm sitting over here in this location, but it actually proves my point, okay? Because I'm over here underneath a wooden roof. This house is undergoing reconstruction, okay? It's what? Well, today is Saturday, but I was also here on Tuesday and Wednesday, noon, okay? Because I can. Because the shit that I'm telling you works. Because I don't have to sit here and worry about, oh, I have to be somewhere. Somebody told me I have to be there at 9 o'clock. I can be here underneath a wooden roof, shirtless, cussing on the internet, acting like a fool, because I don't have to worry about it, because I know that what I'm telling you is the truth. And if you apply these methods, if you operate like this, if you operate in a way that you're meeting a whole bunch of people, you're getting clients and stuff like this, you're working online, and you're living life the way I live life, basically, right? You don't have to worry about nothing. So clearly, I'm over here not worrying about anything. Clearly, I can behave however I want to behave on the internet, because if somebody doesn't like me, fuck you. I don't. It doesn't make any difference to me, right? You don't have to watch my video. So it proves my point. Me being in this type of fucked up location, me being shirtless in every other video and all this. But yeah, what I'm trying to tell you guys is, listen, you have to get out of the house. No more video games. Okay, grow up. It's time to get serious. You know how to build products. Okay, just watch my tutorials. Watch anybody else's tutorials. Okay, build a little Instagram profile and just get out there into the world. If you don't have a job, meaning if you don't have consistent income, you shouldn't be in the house. What are you doing at home? Why are you playing Roblox? Okay, it's kind of like if you're hungry, you're fucking starving. You don't have nothing to eat. What are you gonna do? Play video games? Number one priority should be getting some food, right? It's the same situation. If you actually wanted to make some money with this stuff, you would sacrifice your own pleasures. You would sacrifice your own entertainment in order to get out there. Why can't you find entertainment from going out and socializing with people? Why not go to the gym? Why not go somewhere to some, why not start a little business? Why not work on your Instagram profile, meet people online? Why not network a little bit? Why wouldn't you do that? If you're trying to get a job, right? But no, you want to play video games. Well, fuck you then.